Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The time now is 11:45 a.m. Today is Thursday, June 20th, 2024.
Hello, this is Hyatt.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Omar. I just received an email from
Hyatt, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. It, yes, I just received your email. I'm not sure what number you called me on, but I didn't.
It's this one. Yeah, don't worry. I don't know. I think it just went to voicemail, so that's why I sent the email, because I was like, hey, don't know what happened, but just trying to reach you. No problem at all, though.
Yes, I've been on the phone for an hour and 53 minutes and 10 seconds. I was trying to get some water and bananas delivered to my house, and I was trying to find the cheapest option, whether it was going to be Amazon Prime or Walmart.com or Costco.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally trying to penny pinch so I could have enough money to hire an attorney to help me with the cases that I have involving injuries to my cervical spine and my hands and arms and my back and my lower extremities.
Right. No, I understand, and I hate to hear that that's what you're doing and what you're trying, that you're having to do that. But I guess that's where I come in. I got the information from your call, but it was, very, very brief. I saw that the Florida bar actually referred us. That's what at least I have in the email that I got, and that the accident was in 2021 in Broward County, I believe.
Yes.
That's what I have. So I just would like to get some more information from you regarding what happened, maybe some more details as to the treatment that you've received, and stuff, so that I can put together a little memo and send it over to my partners, since they make the call as to whether or not we will be representing someone. So this is just so that I can get some more information from you so that we can make that decision. Okay. If you have time, if you would like for me to call you back later or for us to speak later, that's totally fine. I think this would probably take about 20 minutes, depending on, how much information you have for me.
Okay. The case in Broward, I filed it pro se at the Broward County Courthouse and the federal courthouse. Okay. And neither one of those courthouses did I know what I need to file. I literally just went to the clerk and told them what they did to me, and they said to just write exactly what I just told them on the complaint form that they're going to give me, and to fill in the questions that are on the other forms that are on the packet attached to the complaint form, and to bring it back to the clerk's desk, and they're going to file it, put it on the docket, and they're going to allow me to file the case through something called indigency status because I'm poor, and they're going to assign the case to a judge, and then they said all I need to do is just tell the judge what I told them, and they said I should be fine. I should be able to obtain monetary relief. So I did what they told me to do. The only problem is I started getting harassed a lot after I reported the case, and I'm now in Tallahassee, Florida for my safety. I've been here since October 2023. When I first ran away because of the harassment, I went to Vero Beach, Florida, and the harassment continued in Vero Beach, Florida, the same exact way as it was happening in South Florida. So I knew I had to go as far north as possible, I figured I'd go to the capital of Florida, being that there's more municipalities of city and state government here, hoping that, they would not allow people to continue harassing me, even though my opposing counsels are government employees from the Broward Sheriff's Office.
Okay, so tell me exactly what happened here and what occurred in November of 2021 that kind of was the catalyst to all of this.
The police jumped me and injured my neck. They broke my left ring finger. They injured my back and my knees. They also pulled my hair in a repetitive punching motion. And they also arrested me. And I didn't do anything wrong, nor did I break any crimes, and nor did I get charged with any crimes. They told me that they were going to trespass me, and I told them to do it. And instead of them, traditionally writing on a piece of paper that I'm being trespassed and the address and the location, they jumped me. And one of the officers was purposely sitting on my back. Another officer purposely broke my left ring finger. Another officer was purposely pushing down on my neck while the officer was sitting on my back. Another officer was pulling my hair in a repetitive punching motion. And then they put me in the backseat of the police car, and they were talking to the sergeant outside the window of the police car, and they were all together saying a different story about why they jumped me to the sergeant, so they could all agree on one thing to say on the police report so they wouldn't get in trouble. But, thankfully I was able to obtain the body camera footage. I called my father. He retired from the Broward Sheriff's Office after 30 years of service. And he sent them a check for several $100s, or approximately more than $100. And they sent us the body camera footage. A lot of the body camera footage was redacted. They redacted the part where they were all saying a different story to the sergeant while they were standing outside the window of the police vehicle that I was in handcuffs. They purposely edited that part out, which I wish they wouldn't have, because they were literally sitting there lying, and they were doing that together so they could falsify the police report. And they also edited out the part when I told the sergeant that I'm just going to tell my father and he'll know what to do. They edited that part out too. But the part where they jumped me, that's on body camera footage from several different angles. So that helps. But I also have another video of the officer who broke my finger. He was outside of my house after he jumped me, him and 3 other officers. And I saw him outside my house. And when I saw him, I didn't obtain that body camera footage yet. So I didn't know which one of those officers broke my finger and was pulling my hair. And I couldn't see which officer was doing what, because my face was literally in the ground and they were behind me doing this and on top of me doing this. And all I could identify them was by hearing their voices, saying different things. Like, for example, one of the officers that broke my finger, he says, "I got his hands." and he grabbed my hands, and then he bent my ring finger on my left hand all the way back and broke it. So I remembered his voice, but I didn't know his face because I didn't see him doing that. I just remembered his voice. But I saw that particular officer outside my house, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, which one of you guys broke my finger and pulled my hair that day?" And he said, "I don't know. I wasn't there." And I said, "You were?" I said, "You were there. I've got you on camera on my phone, recording you guys jumping me, and my camera on my phone turned off as soon as you guys jumped me. I wasn't able to record anything other than to the point where you guys literally jumped me and I was falling onto the floor. So I wasn't able to record, who broke my finger and who pulled my hair and who was pushing on my neck and who was sitting on my back." And he said, "I don't know. I wasn't there." He said, you'd have to get the body camera footage, right?" And then he threatened me. And he said, if I continue to report him, it's going to end up bad for me. As if he was threatening me, if I were to report him or file a police report or press charges against him, that they were going to do something to me. And I told him, I said, "I'm not scared of you, and I'm going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law." But before I said that, he started walking towards me like he was about to hit me. And I said, "No, no, 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 no. Stop." And he was trying to threaten me. And I've got that on camera also. And also I've got on camera when I was speaking to the K-9 unit from the Broward Sheriff's Office several days prior to them jumping me. And I specifically called 911 because there was somebody who was harassing me at my house. Specifically, it was a kid who was stealing cars from that neighborhood, and he also had a gun, and he was bringing those stolen cars back to my house. And where I was living at the time was a place that was advertised on Craigslist, and I was renting a room there, and there were several other people living there too. And he was bringing stolen cars back to that house to show it off to the other people that lived there. And the kid was disgusting. He smelled bad all the time. He was on drugs. He would be sleeping on the chair outside the front door. And when I'd walk outside, for example, in the morning to go to the Broward County Courthouse to try to finish the cases that I filed there pro se pertaining to the police brutality, I would start feeling sick and nauseous. And also that same kid, he'd be walking past my bedroom window at 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And, I would never be able to go to sleep on time. And there was an occasion where the gun that he had, he was pointing it at me and acting like as if it was a joke. And he was also pointing that gun at other people that were living at that house. And, we were all yelling at him like, "Hey, you're not supposed to be pointing a gun at people like that. And, you're not even supposed to be here." And I told him several times, I said, "Hey, the landlord said you're not welcome here." And he wouldn't care. He'd come back anyways. And the landlord told me to call the police on him. So that's what I did. And I contacted the K-9 unit. And they said, the next time you see him, call 911 and don't let him see you calling 911, because I called 911 on him several times before that. And every time I called 911, he'd run.
Right. But I need to get, so that's kind of like the backstory as to what happened before the police, jumped you. But I need to know, I guess, what led you to go from Fort Lauderdale to Tallahassee? Like, what harassment, other than that one officer showing up afterwards? Like, what happened there, and what treatment have you gotten in the time frame between that and now?
Everything,
just so that
everything revolved around my government benefits and my resources from Social Security disability. Because just like I was on Social Security disability then, I'm on Social Security disability now. And all of my resources revolved all around my government benefits. Everything from my Humana Medicaid government health insurance that I received from Social Security disability, to the doctors that are within the network of Medicaid,
right,
to every resource that I'm having to obtain and utilize just to be able to fulfill my medical affairs and legal affairs, because it's a legal matter, so I could obtain monetary relief and fully recover. It all revolves around municipalities of city and state government, and my opposing counsels are government employees.
I understand. Okay, well, I will need to review this with my partners. Like I told you, I'm going to be honest. I'm new to the firm. I've been in personal injury for a number of years now, but with this firm, I'm not sure if they handle this type of stuff. So I'm going to have to discuss it with them. I can't give you an answer right now over the phone as to whether or not we can retain you and represent you for this. But I will be reaching out to them and sending them this information today. And hopefully by the end of the day, if not tomorrow, we'll have an answer for you. Okay, I don't want to leave you hanging for too long, but this is definitely something that I can't make a call on sitting here right now talking to you. Okay, Omar?
Right.
But
I understand.
I took down everything.
Mm-hmm.
I took down everything. I was typing up while you were talking and everything. So I'll just have to send it to my partners, and then we'll be in touch.
Okay, yes, and I understand that because of how high profile it is and the fact that my opposing counsels are government employees, and
Yeah.
But also, I shouldn't have to tell you this, and I'm sure you're already aware of this, but they've been unethically hacking my phone. They've also been electronically harassing me. They're also aware of things that I'm documenting on my phone during, before, and after I document them. They're aware of, doctor's appointments I have to go to, doctor's appointments that I'm scheduling, specialists that I'm scheduling appointments with, exhibits of evidence that I'm documenting pertaining to the case, and doctor's appointments, and all of the relatively connected matters in this case. They're aware of it during, before, and after I document them. And
Right.
they're able to do that because they're government employees. And all of my resources that I'm having to utilize are from the government, or through my government benefits. Like, for example, I've got my phone service. It's discounted through my government benefits. The food that I purchase, it's through my government benefits, electronic benefits card that they call SNAP food stamps.
Yeah.
the money that I receive every month to be able to pay my rent where I'm living is from Social Security disability. It's from the government. They give me $943 a month so I could have a place to live. The health insurance that I have is Florida Medicaid government health insurance from Humana Medicaid. That's from my government benefits. Everything that I need as a resource, I'm having to utilize that resource from my government benefits. So they're aware in real time, during, before, and after, everything I'm documenting on my phone, and they're harassing me with that same information. And it's not just a matter of ethical hacking and them harassing me through an ethical hacking manner. They're maliciously harassing me.
Okay.
And they're also trying to propagandize situations that they purposely caused as a desperate defense for my opposing counsels. And they're doing that as if they're maliciously prosecuting me.
Okay.
And they're doing everything they possibly could to try to make me give up on finding representation to help me and continuing the lawsuit so I could obtain monetary relief.
Okay.
And they've been doing this almost every single day since I filed this complaint, and it hasn't stopped. And I literally had to spend more than $30,000 just to move to Tallahassee, Florida, for my safety, and I've had to spend several more thousands of dollars just to be able to document every step of the way. I've literally had to spend $2,000 on a brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max with 1 terabyte of memory. I had to purchase 2 different iCloud accounts, both with 2 TB of memory. The first iCloud account is full of exhibits of evidence, and now I have my second iCloud account that's almost full of exhibits of evidence. And I'm paying for both of those accounts every single month. And let alone, the expenses of having to document everything and doing that while I'm injured and my hands and arms going numb and my neck always hurting, my back always hurting, my legs always hurting. And the hassles that they put me through when I'm going to the doctors, and they're still happening in Tallahassee. When I'm going to the doctors and I'm telling the doctors that I really need help, and my neck is always hurting, my hands and arms are going numb, my back is always hurting, my knees are always hurting, my legs are always hurting, and I really need some help.
Yeah.
And the first thing they ask me is the same question every time that they ask me in South Florida. And from experience in South Florida, when I would tell them exactly why I'm injured, which is I'm injured because of a police officer injuring me, immediately they start becoming defensive and they don't want to help me anymore. So when I moved to Tallahassee, Florida, instead of me immediately saying my injuries are from a police officer injuring me, I don't say that anymore. I tell them that I was jumped. And then they start asking me more questions. Unlike when I tell them I'm injured because of a police officer, and then they just leave it at that. They don't even want to get into the details. But when I tell them I was jumped, they start asking me all these different questions, all these little detailed questions. And I described exactly how I was jumped. And then they start asking me, well, did you call the police on them? Did you file charges? Did they go to jail? And I'm scared to tell them that it's the police who did it to me.
Right. Okay. I understand.
And
so
then,
I made note of all of that and everything, but At this point, though, I just need to get this over to them because I just want to make sure, I just want to get everything over to them so that they can make the determination on that. So I'm going to need to do that. But like I said, I took notes of everything, and I'll let you know. Hopefully, I'm hoping by the end of the day what their decision is. Okay, it's my three law partners. Mubarak, Sharif, Oladipo. It's them. So, but at the end of the day, it's not my call. But I hope to have an answer for you by the end of the day. Okay.
Okay.
I do need to know just because I have something that I need to do in a few minutes. So,
okay. Do you need?
I got enough.
Do you need the federal case number and the case number from the civil courthouse?
No, we'll get that from you if we decide to move forward with representing you. I'll be getting a much more detailed call and more information from you if that's the case. Okay, I won't need that at this time.
Okay, and have any of those attorneys have they ever represented the police before?
I am not sure, if I'm being honest with you. Like I said, I'm still trying to learn and figure out information myself with what they are comfortable with taking and what they're not. And I'm not entirely sure about all of their backgrounds. So, but like I said, this has been my decision to make anyways, and I would be the one representing you, but it's their decision to make as to whether we retain you or not, okay?
Okay, another thing we could do also, if they don't feel comfortable, for the same reasons that, I didn't feel comfortable staying in South Florida and I moved to Tallahassee, Florida for my safety. If you don't mind, I could pay you to just tell me, what I need to file and when I need to file it, because that was my biggest downfall. Like, for example, I know I need to file, if they file a motion to dismiss, I need to file a response to that, and I have some things already drafted, as a response. And, so I know that I need to file that particular thing. But then there'll be other things that, they might file, that have like really advanced legal terms that I don't understand, that are not really like plain English or anything like that for the average person to understand. So I would need your help in those type of situations. And I know what to write because I know what they did to me, and all I have to do is tell the truth.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask them, just because that in of itself, though, would qualify as representation, though. So like I said, I would just need to talk to them, but I can mention that, and I just added that to the end of the notes. Like I said, Omar, I'm sorry that all of this happened to you, and I hope to get a timely response back over. It's just that I do have a hearing here in less than a minute now, so I do need to run. But I have everything, and inshallah, I'll be reaching out to you by the end of the day, okay?
Inshallah. Allah yadikum wa Allah yaghfir lakum, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Omar. Have a good rest of your day, okay?
Same to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bye-bye.
Time now is 12:14 p.m. Today is Thursday, June 20th, 2024. The duration of this audio transcript is 28 minutes and 58 seconds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.